Hey, 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 Fitmama. Jen Oliver here, your host of the Fitmama podcast. This is the work in to your workout. Hey, Fitmama. I'm so excited to be here with you today. This is a solo cast with yours truly. Happy New Year! We are in a new decade, Fitmama. I know that is heavy, that is big. Think about a decade ago. Where were you? What were you up to? Things probably looked a little different. And 10 years from now, things are going to look really, really different. And what you do from now until another decade, you know, is going to impact your life on so many levels. And this has a lot to do with how you treat yourself every day, right? Which is the inner size, the focus of this podcast. And as we dive into a new year and a new decade, I want us to break that down because it's really overwhelming to think about 10 years from now. And when we start a new year, we think about goal setting, we think about what we want to achieve, what we want to improve on, how we can be better at this or that, how we can join a gym, stay on the program, do the things. And I really want to kind of clear your headspace for this a little bit with a little bit of perspective and something for you to actually focus on and do. Because sometimes we create these really big, exciting goals and we're really pumped for a short period of time. And then life gets in the way and life goes on. And we then don't know how to cope with things. And we then don't know how to cope with things until we go back to these old ways. And we realize, hey, that habit that I wanted to kick is not just a bad habit or a habit I've done for so long. It's actually a coping measure. It's actually something that supports me to live my life. So while you're thinking it's a negative health behavior, maybe it's binge watching TV and I really got to stop doing that and I really got to get to the gym and I really got to this and all the things you tell yourself. Well, where is that really coming from? That's coming from you needing to shut off the world, you needing to escape, you needing to shut down, you needing to recharge, you needing to not have people ask you for things all day, every day, all night, or whatever your situation is, right? So when we begin with that understanding that all the things we do in a day support us in some way. And if we're trying to stop having caffeine or trying to stop having sugar, and then we reach for those things from morning, noon, and night, well, we don't have to yell at ourselves like we normally do, or at least hopefully not if you listen to this podcast, but we actually go, okay, what is that doing for me? So the caffeine, well, it's giving me the kick I need because I'm not sleeping or I'm going through hormonal changes and I feel like crap. So I'm craving this or that. My body is just obsessed with ice cream and I can't give it up right now. And it's the only thing holding me together. Okay, that's where we need to start, because you just saying, I'm going to have ice cream and then not being able to cope with your life and not having an outlet that you used to have, you then have this gap and you go, I need my ice cream, or you get crazy in some other way because you don't have that coping measure. You don't have that learned routine, I'll call it. And at the start of this podcast, I was saying 10 years from now, where will you be? And if you do give yourself some time to think about that, which hopefully you do at some point, maybe not today, but I want you to break it down all the way from 10 years to 1 year and have a really clear vision of where you want to be 1 year from now. Because that's much more attainable, or at least more realistic in terms of something that you can carry out in a year's time. If you want to start this business or get this job or have this baby or buy this car or whatever your goal is, if that goal is set to be in a year, well, it's got to start now. Now is the time, right? So how do you get yourself to do things now when well, 1 year or 5 years from now, that thing will come to fruition. And that's really the key, is that we get caught up in that day-to-day stress of life and cope in ways that are maladaptive, so to speak. And then we always have this need to say, I got to start over. I got to start over. But the thing is, our routines and our habits are so ingrained in that other way. So my question to you today is, what shorter, smaller, monthly, weekly, and daily goals/routines. I like to think about goals as routines, because if you have a goal to achieve something, it needs to be something you do on the regular. So whenever you hear the word goal, I have a goal to reach this many sales targets, or I want to get this many pounds. Not that I necessarily recommend that, but if you do feel like you have a size of clothes that you feel really good in, I encourage you to go out and buy the clothes that fit you right now, so you're very comfortable and you can be confident walking around in your life right now. But starting to say, what do I have to do every day to feel good in that dress that I used to wear, or to feel good in the new workout outfit I want to buy for myself, regardless of what size that is. And even if you have one in your closet that's staring at you or you don't, think about what routines you need to get into today so that whatever that goal is down the road becomes just another day, right? Because if we're living for those days where we're not on the routine, then those are going to be the majority of the days. And we know that because that's going to be our focus. So it's what you focus on. And actually, my husband teaches basketball coaches a lot about coaching players, and he teaches them to teach their players not only when to focus, because there's so many times we need to focus in basketball or in a game or sport or in life, but he teaches them when not to focus. And I think that's so important for us to think about in our own lives, because so many of our behaviors, habits, coping measures, maladaptive ones specifically, are actually there to help us because we don't take that downtime of when not to focus. We think we have to be on all the time as parents, as employees, as husbands, wives, as whatever roles we play in our lives. We are on. We want to do it, right? As, the best we can do. And we don't build in that time in our routine for downtime, to sit there and stare at the wall, or to watch one show, or to stretch on your floor, or meditate, or write in your journal, go for a walk, call your friend. We don't build that time in. We have to steal that time all the time. And so it ends up showing up like you're sick and you have to be in bed and watch shows all day, or you can't do the things you want to do and you keep starting and stopping because you keep getting too sore or injured because you start too fast, or you keep falling off the diet bandwagon because you cut out all the things that you love and it doesn't make sense. And it's really about creating something that is sustainable every single day, Fitmama. And this is why I created last year for you that PDF, which I'm going to link in the show notes, which is the 2-day goal setting sheets, because it's today. It's basically today and tomorrow, the only 2 days that really matter. Even in a goal 10 years from now, we need to focus on what we're doing today and tomorrow. And if we're under siege with enormous amounts of stress, if we're using all kinds of maladaptive behaviors to cope with the daily anxieties and stresses we have, there is no way that in 1 year or 10 years, whatever, you're going to be that fit, healthy, vibrant person you dream about, because your daily habits are not reflecting that in any way. So I want you to think about ways that you can not focus and not be switched on in your life. Where can you veg out, and how can you build that into your routine? I want you to consider things that make you excited and you look forward to them. So if it's your favorite show, great. Get that favorite show, download it onto your iPad or your phone, take it to the gym, take it to your treadmill, do something active while you're engaging in that. Or schedule it in that you're not going to do anything and you're just going to watch that show. Because if you wedge it in between things, your kids want you or your partner wants you or your work contacts you or whatever, you haven't carved out that time and then it squeezes itself into something else. So make sure it's something you look forward to. So even if it's health goals related, I've been doing searches around my area for exercise, fitness. I love looking into trying new things. I have so many different modalities of fitness that I love. I encourage you to find something that you love because you want to look forward to it. And that's the thing. I like to switch it up. I do Pilates for a lot of time, and I've been doing that as a rehab focus for a long time. Well, I am happy to say, as we enter 2020, this new decade, I found someone who popped my hip and my SI joint back into place locally to me. So I've gone to see him a number of times and he's helped me so much because now I have zero pain left. And between all the mind body work I've been doing and now that actual hip being back in alignment, he repositioned it. It feels incredible. So happy things. What other things can I do that make me happy in fitness? I love hiking. What else can I do? Find new trails. I can find a new type of body work. If I'm now maybe thinking I want to do something more high intensity, because I'm thinking about joining something called Orange Theory, which you may have in your area. And there's something called a Barre class or a fitness studio that is specifically around the bar, which is like you use a ballet bar. If you haven't heard of this before, I've gone to a few classes in Vancouver, in Toronto, with friends, and I love the bar. I really do. And at my Pilates place that I was going to, they had a bar and there was some bar stuff, but there's a place walking distance that is a bar place and I can go to bar classes. So this sounds so fun to me. So for me, I just put that in my routine because I know every other day I do something more intense because every other day for me comes often enough and I really take a day off for recovery. I used to be a everyday workout hard type of person and that's great. And I look at my kids and the things they can do are fantastic. But my wrists, my body at my age, which I'm now 38 and I'm a young, healthy 38, there are certain things that I don't push myself into doing. And if my wrists are hurting, I stop doing it after one day of handstands with my kids. I'll take a day or two off with that. But if I'm doing a more high intense gym focus, or if I'm doing Pilates, I make myself go in a routine fashion. I had a Pilates membership that was 2 times a week you could go. So I would schedule it into my app. And having a routine and consistency is what it is all about, Fitmama. Hey, Fitmama, I want to interrupt this episode just for a quick reminder to check out the Love Fitmama Way. If you haven't already checked out the book online, it's available on Amazon. The link is in the show notes. It is a very comprehensive book for you where I explain how the transition into motherhood is a window of opportunity to transform the core of your being as a human and a leader. I go into detail about what you can do physically to rehabilitate your deep inner core after pregnancy and childbirth. It doesn't matter how many years postpartum. I emphasize that being a fit mama all starts with love. And what goes into the embrace, nurture, and enjoy framework as I outline this journey for you. Because it's all about transforming from the inside out, focusing within, not without. Cultivating those healthy habits that stick, that are for you, is what this new generation of fit mamas like you really want. I lay out and I dive into the Fit Mama foundations along with all the relevant tools, new ideas, recommendations, scientific backup, and intriguing perspectives that will leave you feeling empowered Fit Mama and determined to connect deeper with your own core. Regardless if you're male or female, with or without kids of your own, you will find this book
thought-provoking and practical in moving you toward true love and reverence towards your body and your life. I guarantee it, Fitmama. Reach out. Please let me know how you like the book. It's only $4.69 on Kindle, and you have a Kindle app for free on your phone. If you don't, grab a Kindle. They're awesome. You can read it right on your computer, though. And the paperback is only $24.95. I honestly know that it's worth it. It is over 10 years of research and pretty much 20 years of experience, plus my whole life. But it is a wealth of knowledge. And I know this makes a really, really great gift for any of those pregnant or new fit mamas out there. I guarantee you're going to feel a breath of fresh air from reading this book, and sharing it with your friends and family is giving love right to them. I talk all about healing your seal and doing the pearl pull-ups to bring yourself back into a place of equilibrium in your core, a nice connecting with your deep inner core, how to rehab, what it all means, and it's super, super clear and simple. So check out the book, get it on Amazon. The link is in the show notes. And back to the episode. Have a great day, Fit Mama.
As you know, in the Love Fit Mama way, I talk about this. I talk about this for an entire chapter in part 2, which is all about nurturing you. Chapter 8 is routine, repeat, and rewire. And I talk a lot about the research in this. I go into so much stuff in my book, as you know. If you didn't already know, definitely check it out. I'm going to link that up here too. But the quote I have to start this chapter is so appropriate right now, Fit Mama, which is, "You'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine." And that's John Maxwell, who's one of the biggest leadership coaches of all time. And I really believe in, as I talk about in the Love Fit Mama way, you are the leader of your life. And this is a huge leadership hack, which is creating daily routines, right? This is why we brush our teeth every morning and night, why we have a water glass beside our bed, why we make sure we do the things that we know to be best for us in a routine fashion, right? So how can you add to your routine? By creating this 2-day focus. What am I going to do today? What am I going to do tomorrow? So for me, it's like, okay, today I'm going hiking and I'm lifting weights in my backyard gym. Okay, great. I'm going to go for a swim. I'm going to do a dip in the cold plunge. I'm going to have a shower, or I'm going to this. I create routines in my daily around all the 7 pillars of the Fit Mama foundations, right? And we know what those are already, which they are hydration as a basic one. They are that meditation, which I talk about, and I'm going to be creating some audios for you, some free audios that I'm going to be linking up in the group, because we're going to be doing a little bit of a meditation breathing challenge. And I'm going to be talking you through some guided meditations, because I've had a lot of people come to me recently saying, I don't know how to meditate. I want to meditate more. My focus this year is meditation. And the truth is that it is not rocket science, Fit Mama. It is consistency. It is taking that time every day, carving it out in your schedule to simply breathe. And sometimes having nothing and just breathing is very intimidating to Fit Mamas. And I get it. I was there once, but now it's so routine to me that for me, an audio sometimes distracts me. But my goal for my audios is not to distract you, but to focus you just for that 15 minutes to breathing and to connecting with your body and the here and now, and calming your nervous system, which is just going to reset you, kind of like a recharge, right? In a short 15 minutes breathing, you're going to sit there and you're going to feel recharged, right? And a lot of that is bringing up that positive emotion that I talk about, because yeah, we can talk about routines all we want, but if you're not sticking to your routines and you keep falling off the wagon, so to speak, then there's no use, right? So when we get into taking time to breathe, reducing our stress, eliminating toxic people, toxic experiences, toxic interactions, stopping to do the things that bring on anxiety through awareness, right? And back to journaling, right? That's one of the Fit Mama foundations. That's a key focus, is taking that time to journal every single day, because that's your connection to your inner self, understanding what makes you happy, what gets you excited, right? Maybe it's not time to join a gym for you. Maybe it's just time to go for a walk around your block. Maybe it's just time to join the Y with your kids and get them active and them see you active. What is it for you that feels good? Because if it feels stressful, if it feels hard, if it feels like, oh, that D-Day is coming when I have to give up all my vices, that's not going to stick, Fitmama. It's about creating these small daily routines. So in the Love Fitmama way, I talk about how we know our kids thrive on routine, and we know ourselves to be those people who feel like we thrive in our routines, right? We're in a routine, then we go on vacation, then we can never get back into it. Or we are away and we are active and then we get back home and then we get stuck in a rut because we get back into our old routines, right? Our routines are what we live by. So if I can give you any recommendation here in this podcast, this kickoff month of the year and the decade, I encourage you to create some small daily routines that make you happy and give you this opportunity to not focus, right? That's one of the things that we love fitness for. You know, I love to go work out and I'm not answering emails and doing things online or focus at my computer or creating content or coaching people. I'm shut off. I'm working out. I'm focused on myself. I'm on my inner work. I'm doing the inner size. I'm breathing and calming my stress such that I feel excited and happy to go out and do all those other things again. And you have to understand what you need, right? How much do you need? Do you need an hour? Do you need half an hour? Do you need 3 hours? You know, yeah, you can laugh, but I bet you if you really focus and then find time that you want to not focus, you can carve out hours and hours of time, Fitmama. Of course, if we have new babies, things are different. I'm really talking about creating routines that are sustainable. And a baby goes through so much in just 1 year. So if you're pregnant right now, or if you just had a baby in the last year, you know, or even a couple years, you know you're in the weeds. You're in the hardest part of your life because it's focused. It's hard. You can't not focus, right? The baby's going to need you. There are still times then, and then you know you'll transition out of it. So don't sabotage yourself. So many of us try to set ourselves up for success, but it's actually a sabotage in a cloak, right? Like it's dressed up. And we know that because we use the word try, right? You didn't catch that maybe, but I said try. We try to set ourselves up. And what that means really is that we aren't setting ourselves up because we leave all kinds of opportunities for this self-sabotage. And what I talk about with self-sabotage is this behavior that you engage in, which stands in the way of you achieving these goals for yourself that you set, right? But I always want to bring it back to this loving, forgiving side of things, which is what are you trying to get from those self-sabotaging behaviors? Right? What is that vice? What is that unfortunate habit you're trying to kick? Or what is that new thing you're trying to pick up that you think will serve you, but something else is filling that gap right now? Because you've created coping, right? So understand that you're coping with that stress. And that's why I bring it back to the breathing, right? And the positive emotions. That's the big one. And I talk about this a lot in the book, but things like procrastination, avoidance of even trying, right? Even not even saying I'm going to go, because a lot of it is committing to ourselves, right? And eating foods that don't serve you, right? Feeling sick and bloated or gassy or have heartburn or have pain or fatigue every single day, and you have a knowing that that's coming from the foods you're ingesting. You deserve better, Fitmama. So do something like this, and I challenge you to this, and I want to see some of this on social media or DM me or PM me. I want you to write a letter to yourself. So this can incorporate a little journaling that we talk about. This can incorporate some meditation, some breathing. Sit there for a few minutes. Really close your eyes and just visualize, what could a year from now look like? How good can things get? Where can I be? Who can I be with? How can I feel? How much money is in my bank account? How many charities am I donating to? How are my children feeling about their quality of time with me? How do I feel in my body? How calm am I on a day-to-day basis, or am I snapping at people all day, every day? How does it look? Picture best possible scenario. Get into that headspace. Be that person, or write a letter to that person. Be that person a year from now and write a letter to you right now. Say, hey, Jen, you got this. Right? It's like looking back on yourself a year ago from now, and looking at yourself with forgiveness, compassion, love, empathy, right? If you don't have empathy for yourself, who do you have empathy for, right? That's the person, you. And when you can see your next self, the one that you create every day that turns into the one next year and the year after and the next decade, when you see her as something to invest in, to put in the time to eat the vegetables or eat the meat or drink the bone broth or drink the tea instead of your coffee or the coffee instead of tea or whatever's serving you this week, ask yourself, what makes me happy? What works for me? I had a unique opportunity actually to meet up with my friend's dad. So my friend's parents were in town and I met up with both of them, so not him uniquely, but he was specifically talking about how he uses energy work in his dentistry. And he was so interesting talking about how he helps his patients energetically understand if something is good for them or not by using kinesiology, applied kinesiology, testing his patients' muscles to see if they were strong or weak in regard to a specific anesthetic, a specific filling for their cavities, a specific thing they needed to do after he looked at the x-rays. He can energetically read x-rays, and it's all based on vibration. And this was such a unique conversation, and it just brought up so much for me to bring to you. That'll be a whole nother conversation I'll bring up in another podcast, but to remember that everything you're doing creates an energy about you. And that's one of the things people say to me. They go, oh, you have so much energy, or you're so positive, or you have, every time I hang out with you, I feel so energized. And I want to take better care of myself because, feel good around you. And, it's interesting because what I feel like I'm doing is opening them up to shining more light in a situation. And I just feel like that positive emotion, that's that energetic vibration that is something we want to move towards. And we want to move away from the things that just don't make us feel good. If we go to the gym and we feel self-conscious and we hate it every time, ditch that place, find another gym or find another person or find something else to do that will make you feel good, especially about yourself. And so from the perspective of your higher self, look back or look forward and write yourself a letter that you can open up 1 year from today. And you can keep hidden and put it somewhere or tell someone to mail it to you a year from now and talk to that person. Tell her you're going to take care of her this year. You're going to support her. You're going to wash her face every day and do the little things, brush your teeth and floss or whatever is making your boat float this month. And think of it on monthly goals. And this year, in Fitmama online, we're going to be talking about these monthly goals and the daily routines that we create from monthly goals and the 2-day focus. Because remembering, creating these things in your life are things that you want to keep doing over and over. And we know in a year from now, we're going to look back on it and say, wow, that year flew by. Oh my gosh, where did that month go? Whoa, it's already summer. It's already Halloween. It's already Christmas. It's already whatever. We go through this every year and we're shocked that time flew by. And everyone that's older than us tells us it flies by even more as you age, right? You should see how the next decade flies by. So break it down, Fitmama. Break it down by having a daily focus to take time to breathe and stacking and staggering your health goals, everything from, even I'm a believer in supplements and taking, vitamins and minerals, especially around preconception and pregnancy and postpartum. And, when you're really trying to support certain organs and when you're doing functional preventive type medical care for yourself, which is proactive, I really encourage that. That being said, I don't encourage doing it every single day. And I do encourage a randomness about it, much like I encourage randomness around fitness. And even though I want you to move your body every day, as I want my body to move every day, and everyone 100% across the board has attested to this, they feel better when they move their body more. And it does not mean more is better. They mean every single day and when they're in a regular workout routine. And I poll everybody about this. I realized this about myself. I ask everybody, do you feel better when you're working out or exercising regularly, as in moving your body, pushing yourself so that you're a little sore, but not excessively, and you can do it regularly? And they all say yes. 100% of people say yes. So I know this to be true. So find something that you can do 1, 2, 3 times a week. And we're going to be talking about this and building on it. So I don't want to inundate you today in this New Year's post about routines and these small daily goals, not these big goals of this year I'm going to lose 40 pounds. It's what do I have to do every day so that I'm doing those things that add up over time to this end result goal. Because a year from now, yeah, you absolutely can lose 40 pounds, 6 months from now, 3 months from now, whatever. But what are going to be the sustainable goals so that in a year from now, you're saying, wow, look where I am, and how could this be even better? And patting yourself on the back about 1,000 times a day in between there. And that is where I come in as your cheerleader in the inner size focus of you having that positive emotional focus. Because we know, again, from the Love Fitmama way, that positive emotion and willpower are linked. And if we're in a place of negative emotion, we do not have willpower. And those things really can sort of get in the way of each other. So I talk about routine, and I have an actual graphic that I'm going to post on social. So follow me if you're not on Instagram at LoveJenOliver, because when I share this episode, I'm going to be sharing this in my Insta stories, okay, and on Instagram. This is like a Venn diagram. If you haven't seen the diagram, it is a cross between prioritizing, preparing, and positioning yourself to be able to focus, flow, and follow through. Because it's all about getting into that flow and having that focus and remembering when not to focus so that you're not getting yourself in that position where you're on hyper overdrive, you're overstressed, you're getting to the point of anxiety and potential depression or frustration at the very least, and your happy focuses all go out the window and they're replaced by quote unquote vices or negative behaviors that you're then going to just need and want and tell yourself all these other negative words that you have to change, right? Because at the end of the day, they're coping measures. They're not long-term strategies for health and well-being. So getting comfortable in setting yourself up for success, right? And being comfortable saying no. Right? I talk about that a lot in the Love Fitmama way. And I really, really believe saying no is very powerful. And I'm going to do an episode of this podcast later on in the month just about saying no, because it's unbelievable how uncomfortable it actually is. And the last episode I did on taking a stand for yourself, and we talked a little about this, But it is so hard to say no when we're in that peer pressure situation, especially, right? Everyone's having cake or pie or alcohol or all the things that is not serving us right now. And we say we don't want that. But in that moment, it's so pressured. And then we don't want to have to explain, or we feel awkward, or we just don't want to say no, or we just self-sabotage, quote unquote, and cope with the discomfort by giving in. Right? So again, remembering your small daily routines where you're going to want to get up and feel really refreshed because you're going to do your morning routine or you're going to do the things, and you're not going to want that in your system so you can feel at your best, because that's energetically actually not serving you. So if you can find someone that can help you with energetically realizing this, or if you even search online for things like muscle testing, because you can do muscle testing on yourself and actually test if you're feeling strong towards something or weak. So that's a whole nother thing. And we'll do another episode on that and energy, which that's one of my favorite things since about 7 years ago. It's been now that I did actually, it's going to be 2020, and it was 2013 that I did my Reiki training while my little babe, who was born in February, was in my belly. And I did a 6-week Reiki course, which was all about energy. And it was so interesting. And her reaction and her in my belly was so interesting. So that'll be for another episode. But for this one, I want you to download the 2-day goal setting PDF sheet. If you haven't seen that already, if you don't have it saved, do that as a morning routine. Every morning or every night before you go to bed, fill in that today and tomorrow. If you do it in the morning, it's easier because you can go, today I'm going to do this, and then tomorrow I'm going to do this, and then you do it again at night, and you plan for the next day. So you can be really following up with yourself, which is what I love to do, is follow up. I'm going to be following up with this on you in the Fitmama group. I'm going to link that up in the show notes too. So if you aren't in our group and you're not following along with the challenges, there are going to be different monthly challenges in there all year. There are going to be different weekly challenges in there all the time, as you always know. So get in there and use the social support to help support you on your journey with these daily routines. Because you know I'm going to be in the Fitmama group, and I know a year from now you're still going to be there, and you're going to say, where did the time go? How did I miss out on doing my routines and my goals again? And I don't want that for you. So come hang out, read the Love Fitmama Way, which I'm going to link up, as I said. I can send you a signed copy. If you go to jenoliver.com, you will find it there. And or lovefitmama.com/book, you will find it there. So I'll link all that up in the show notes. I can't wait to connect with you this year. This is going to be a great year because these daily routines that you're going to create is going to be a huge bonus for you. So if you fill out that PDF and if you follow the routines planner, which is essentially what can you do 1, 2, or 3 times a week? You know, if you love yoga every day, do yoga every day. And if it's not taking away from you, you know, if you love walking every day, or if you love running 3 times a week or 4 times a week, just ensure that it's something you can stick with and you look forward to, and then pile it in. And then what else can you add to that, right? What else can you add that makes you more filled with joy, more filled with passion and excitement, right? This, my friend's dad, he was talking about, he's been a dentist for 45 years, and now he's so excited about researching all these different holistic style of dentistry and the energetic side of it. And it's given him a passion at the age of 70, which is so incredible. So I inspire you to put it out there, right? How good can it get? How much happier can I be? How much happier can my family be? How much more abundant can we be, right? Last episode with Aggie K, right? We talked about abundance and that money mindset. So don't just say to yourself, Fitmama, where does the time go? But actually do the things on the daily that fill that time and actually fulfill you as a human, right? A little bit as a mama, a little bit as an employee or an entrepreneur, a little bit as a wife, husband, whatever, a little bit as a community supporter, a little bit as a this, that, the other, and you at the center of all of it. A lot of you. And you've got you. You've got your back. You're the only one who's going to be here guaranteed in 10 years. Everything else may change, but if you're lucky enough to be here in 10 years, 100% guaranteed you've got you. right? So begin with that end in mind, Fitmama. Reach out to me. I can't wait to connect with you. I have so much love for you and so much gratitude. You inspire me every day, Fitmama. Can't wait to do routines with you. Have a great day. Happy New Year. Namaste.